Chris Potter is doing here is completely meaningless without the thing Chris Potter is saying next as almost a side remark.
You just have to know where to put it and know how to resolve it.
When you're practicing something or learning something, one of my questions is, what is the most important thing to study? And of course this question is so very important to have an answer on. The result of your study and your learning must of course lead to knowledge that you can apply in your real life setting. So another question pops up, what is studying and applying all this material actually mean when you're learning to play music? So knowing the answer to this question is for sure crucial for your own study, for your own development and for your motivation. So let's dig in. So Chris Potter is of course amazing at this, practicing crazy patterns. But to make this sensible for everybody, I want to take it to a level where I can understand. Let's just move it down to plain arpeggios going up the scale. You have probably been told 100 times that you should practice the diatonic arpeggios just moving up the scale. And I really assume that this is a common exercise and everybody here knows it, kind of. Because it's so versatile and it's so usable in a jazz practice. But why should we practice it? I'm saying versatile and usable. Somebody probably told you had to practice this. But why? I really believe it is important to practice this when you learn jazz. But what are you actually going to do with it when you have practiced it? Well, you have the knowledge in your fingers.
You just have to know where to put it and know how to resolve it.
You need to know where to put it in your music. You need to know where to use this exercise. Without the purpose, no exercise has any meaning. So when I'm playing these exercises, they do not have any meaning at all. Maybe to get faster fingers, but why should I? But suddenly with one add-on, the exercises becomes more than just exercises. You add the chords to the exercise and suddenly they have perspective. They are added into tunes. You can see the connection between the tunes and the exercises. The chords are the connection.
You just have to know where to put it, know how to resolve it. But if you don't really know where to put it, then you're just gonna, it's just by itself, it doesn't mean anything. But if you really have, I want to land somewhere here, and I've got this many bars to do it, and this kind of implies the dominant result.
So what Chris Potter is saying here is you must know where to put the material you are practicing. You must know what function the material has in the music you are playing. Knowing where to add the exercise into your music makes it so much easier to practice them, because now they have a purpose and they become meaningful. And generally jazz becomes much easier to play because you can recognize the parts and bits you have already practiced as a part of the music. When we're looking at the arpeggio exercise and we're looking at Autumn Leaves, the chords kind of become a roadmap. Where can I put these chords? Where can I add them into the music? The chords actually show how to add the physical movement into the music. And as you see, now you already have tons and tons of material you can apply into the tune. And what Chris Potter would do is play the exercise and immediately add it into his music like this. So when you're adding the exercise directly into the music, well, it kind of sounds dull because you just basically took the exercise, added it directly as an exercise into your music, not doing anything with it. And true, nobody sounds like this. Nobody just adds the exercise directly into the music because it sounds like an exercise. So Chris Potter, of course, he has a solution and he has a point here. You need to turn around the stuff. You need to break it up and mix it. Let's see how we can interfere in this pattern. A simple thing like moving the arpeggios descending down the scale adds twice as much material. You can play the same chords up, but think them as from the third of the chord instead of the root. Then you get these beautiful upper structures. And then play around with the rhythm. Move the arpeggios in the rhythm that you get a different sound of each bar, each time you play basically the same arpeggio. Let's take a look at our options and make a nice solo out of this. All these options are made out of one idea, the ascending arpeggio. From the basis of the ascending arpeggios, if you start thinking about it, if you start being creative with this practice material, just turning it around, moving in the rhythm, seeing how the arpeggio works from other steps of the scale, this makes amazing solo material. And when you add this together, it can sound like this. On the D minor, you're playing this root root arpeggio. G7 I play the arpeggio from the third. On the C major I play a descending arpeggio. On F major I play a rhythmic arpeggio. On the B half diminished I play the arpeggio down. E7 I play the arpeggio from the third. A minor I play the arpeggio up, and the second A minor I play the A minor 9 from the third of the arpeggio. In the lesson manual PDF on Patreon, I guide you through this process. I take you through one exercise and merge this exercise into new exercises, and these I take and move into the tune, that you see how the exercise connects into the material we're actually playing when soloing. And this approach gives you real world mileage for the practice flow. Play the exercise, where does it belong, apply it, and play solos. Get it on Patreon, the download link is in the description. Of course I cannot see and hear how you interpret this. Well, you can leave a comment and say if you like it, please do. But I think it's pretty awesome how you can take one idea, tweak it, and then get a full solo with one idea only. In the beginning of this video I introduced two other concepts, two other solo ideas. Thirds in the scale and the bebop scale. And as long as you know where the material belongs, the D minor and D minor, G7 and G7, that bebop scale, you can apply it directly into your playing. So now let's construct a more epic solo with just these parts. I will of course help you and point out where I have added the two new licks ideas. So on that first D minor I'm using the thirds in the scale, and on the G7 I've of course used the bebop scale. On the F major I actually use the thirds because if you look at it, the F major is the upper structure of the D minor, so I can use the third in the scale there too. On the E7, that's a dominant, I use the bebop scale. And on that last A minor chord, it's still the A minor scale, C major scale, so I'm using the thirds again. So just with a few exercises added into your practice, working these exercises out in different forms and different ways, and knowing how the exercise connects into the tunes, you can get incredibly far with just really simple material like the arpeggio, like thirds in the scale, like a bebop scale. And with only a few great exercises you can actually have unlimited solo material. In the lesson manual PDF on Patreon I work with these few exercises and a few new. In the lesson manual PDF on Patreon I take some exercises and tweak them into new exercises. All these exercises I take and add them into solo etudes on autumn leaves. In this way you train your technique by using the exercises. You see the point of where you have to take them into your music by adding the chord settings to each other. And then you can play the etudes to see how they actually flow beautifully into each other. Play the exercises, where do it belong, apply it to the music and play it freely. Get it on Patreon, the download link is right here. To get somewhere, to become smarter, to learn something, we need to practice. In this video I look at some great approach of Chris Potter and Joel Fram, and I must say this is really worth checking out. Check the video here. Play music, have fun.